Would there ever be a point, JJ, you're in there, especially at full back, right? Because you're not. There are parts of the game that you're not in, and it's that cold out. Are you thinking if a ball comes down here, I'll struggle to clear this on?
Well, that's it. Yeah, you're trying to hand pass it. Every time any backs, I'll lose.
I'm not finished yet. It took me a long time to get here.
Both players have spoken with each other.
So I was at home on my couch yesterday, lads. I was half thinking of going over to the football match in Moore Park, and then I saw the clouds and I saw the wind started battering off the window, and I said, forget about that. I'm watching Clare and Laois in the hurling, and that was it. I had a choice between two. I was watching it though, JJ, thinking, how on earth do you hurl in conditions like that? Like, I mean, the first half was just dreadful. It was sheeting rain. There was a bit of snow at one point. There was really, really strong wind down one end of the field, and it was bitter cold.
That's phenomenal. Like, it's just very, very hard to get your bearings really, more than anything. You could get a slap in the hand now 5 minutes into the game, and you mightn't feel your hand for the rest of the half. You know what I mean? It's just, even heard on League Sport there last night that the Laois guys went for a shower at half time. That's the first time I've ever heard that kind of warm the bodies back up again.
I've never heard that before, but it sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I thought, I wonder now, would it drain them out of warm water? The kind of way. Just wonder would it work back. But no, I've never heard that like that before. Fair enough, you change your jersey, but you go back out and feel in, you're going to be cold and wet again. That kind of way. But it's very, very hard. It's your hands are the worst part. You see the goalies, every break of play, they're clapping their hands, getting their blood circulating in their hands. But yeah, it's not worse now. When you get a slap in the hand, a cold day, you have it for the next 2 or 3 days.
Well, well, I've never played hurling really outside of my garden or whipping around, breaking flowers and weeds and stuff. But I've played golf enough, Damien, to know that when it's freezing cold and the rain is pelting down, like, I can't grip the golf club. You have to end up going into the clubhouse. You're kind of done. I can't imagine you can't exactly do that on a hurling field.
Yeah, it's very difficult, Colin, because you have to remember your hands are getting wet and your hands are getting extremely cold, right? But then the whole thing is with your grip then gets soaking wet as well, and next thing it gets very hard to grip it, and your hand starts sliding in it, and then it gets the quality of the game as well really deteriorates, especially in conditions like that. But just on the conditions, Colin, I thought it was a disgrace that any games were on yesterday. Like, especially when there was so many of them called off. Why didn't they just call them all off? They call them all off and just have them all on the same weekend, whether it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks down the line. And I hear them on the Sunday game saying, for example, that Everton might go back a week now, which will affect the club season in April. I just thought yesterday was a joke. Even the quality of the hurling, like, fair play to the players for going out and giving it their all, everything. But the managers as well, that have, like, for example, the Clare Laois game, like, what did both managers learn from their team apart from the boys having heart and bravery and all that sort of stuff? Very, very little. No more than the Wexford Kilkenny game, but the conditions were just terrible. I was really surprised that the games went ahead. Some of them called off and some of them not called off. It wasn't fair on some of the players.
Well, I think that is a point, because if 2 were called off, they're going to have to find a weekend for them anyways. And the thing is, they're going to do it like they did last year, and the league final will be a double header with the football. I don't see why that's not done anyways. Neither are big enough to fill Croke Park. Why not play the two of them on the same day? I mean, and that's on the 29th of March. You're not going into April anyways, so there's no big panic here. I do agree with Damien. There would be no harm if you're calling 2 big games off to call all of them off, JJ.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, because you're going to have to come out to player welfare is the main thing about it. Like, you know what I mean? That's what Damien rightly said. They fulfilled the fixtures yesterday. Did anyone learn nothing about it? Or imagine trying to make your debut, you're trying to make a team and play a match there yesterday, especially if you're a forward. Back's fair enough, you can get away with it. Like, but as a forward, you're trying to win the ball, heavy conditions, wet ball, and if a gale force wins against you, you might only get a first half, you mightn't even touch the ball. You might be took off at half time or 10 minutes into the second half, you don't get a right crack at it at all. You know what I mean? For players' confidence as well alone, like, you need to get a proper run in a dry day there as well, like, so no, I was just kind of thinking that yesterday now wasn't a day for who enjoyed it. The sports didn't enjoy it, the players certainly didn't enjoy it either. Like, you're sitting down there for a sport, you're freezing watching the game there as well. You're playing it just to fulfill a fixture, and that's not right either. Like,
yeah, spare a thought. Like, I and it wasn't even an enjoyable game to watch anyways. It was a hard watch, Damien, wasn't it? Like, I mean, and then
and it was interesting, Colin, to hear that Eddie Brennan said that some of these players had to go in and have a hot shower at half time.
Yeah.
They try heat up their limbs and their, like, I remember one time training in really, really bad conditions one time, right? And I remember your hands were so cold that when you were having the shower afterwards, it kind of weren't even feeling well. Yeah. So like, in some of these lads are getting a chance to try nail a place or whatever, but I just don't know why they didn't call him off. It just didn't make sense, Colin.
Yeah, it like, I mean, sure, you don't have to play sport to know how cold your hands can get. That actually the hot water actually hurts your hands.
Yeah,
even trying to it stings them. And like, is there no gloves ever trialled in hurling, or you just looked at upon as a softie if you were to wear? Is there no kind of light glove that might keep the wind out of them? You know that.
No, but then your sleeves.
Like I know Don Locusic used to wear a glove in the goals for catching balls, but I won't lie to you, Colin. It's not seen. There is the hurling glove, which is for the lad that catches the balls, like for example Johnny Glynn wears
and TJ,
for example.
TJ,
that's just exactly. Just because when they're going up catching the balls, that the worst belt you can get is to get a belt across your knuckles, and there's possibility then of breaking your knuckles. And I know all about that because my brother broke his knuckles, so he did one time in a hurling match, so he did, and he was out basically for 2 years. But there is gloves, but yeah, you're right. The Irish mentality that if you go out wearing a pair of gloves playing hurley, that you're a softy or a pansy like that, you know. So and that's the truth of it is, you know, where if you were talking to the diehards, you wouldn't be wearing gloves, you know. But it's like the diehards still don't like the lads wearing the bicycle shorts or the white pair of runners or the white boots or whatever like that. But no, there is a glove, but no one uses them.
Right. There is an actual glove, is there, JJ? I thought.
It's one out in the market, but there's something that you have to be using often to get used to it. Like, you know, you wouldn't just put on for one game.
It would be a very light glove.
Very light, yeah. But then, sure, a very light glove, it wouldn't really keep out a huge amount either. You know, because you still need your flexibility and closing your hand as quickly as possible, or even catch it with your fingers. A lot of people catching the fingers rather than the actual palm of the hand herself as well. Like, so you need a certain amount of flexibility there as well. And a glove that thin will allow your hand to be flexible probably wouldn't give you too much protection either.
Would there ever be a point, JJ, you're in there, especially at full back, right? Because you're not. There are parts of the game that you're not in, and it's that cold out. Are you thinking if a ball comes down here, I'll struggle to clear this on?
Well, that's it. Yeah, you're trying to hand pass it. Do you ever see any backs? I'll lose hand pass it. Like,
really,
the backs will get away with it, but the forwards have to actually get the ball, turn around, and go shoot for the goal and get a lot of power behind it. I feel sorry for him really playing against games, especially you're coming into the match yesterday. I'm going to be under savage pressure in one and a half, and I'll have a piece of cake for the second half. You know what I mean? Because the wind is going so long that you will be under pressure from even the keeper's puck out. You see it yesterday that and Darren Brennan was hitting it to his own 45, whereas Mark Fannin was hitting it, landed on the 21, like, you know, the kind of way. So that's to the two extremes, but you know you're going to be under savage pressure for one half, and then you might even touch ball for the second half, you know, and that's not right either. Like,
yeah, I don't know, Damien. Have you ever felt like that if a ball comes in here, I wouldn't be, I'm not fit to strike it, my hands are so cold?
God, has happened, of course it has. Oh geez, definitely. Like your body is so cold that you're riding the ball, and then when the ball does come into your column, and you'll probably be able to vouch for this as being a corner forward type player, you're in there so long, you haven't touched the ball in 5-10 minutes. Next thing, the one ball comes into your head height, your hand is absolutely freezing, you go to catch and you miss it. And next to all of a sudden, maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, take off that he's useless. You know, and your hands are so
no, but we'd wear gloves, you see, like, you know, and you would have that bit of protection. I'm just thinking it would be out of the question that I would play a game in those conditions without gloves. Do you know what I mean? I just can't comprehend having to have that.
It's a case, once again, as Jay just said, you'd have to get used to it, Colin.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a pair of shin guards, right? And if you know you're going out playing a dirty team, or you're going to be marking lads that's going to lower the blade, you can't just put on a pair of shin guards for the game and next thing to say, that'd be fine. You have to get used to. It's like when the helmets came out compulsory. Like, there was lots of lads like Dan Shannon, Don Locusic, all these guys that never wore helmets before. Ken McGrath, you know. And they had to readjust and get used to wearing the helmet. So it's not just a case of just it's funny, but everything within reason. But lads don't wear gloves in the JAA, in the hurling circles, because I think a lot of it is that it's not seen as proper in the JAA hurling world. And if you do wear it with, say, a glove out the field, basically you're trying to tell me just to keep your hand warm, you will be considered as a pansy.
Well, don't they wear snoods in soccer and the whole lot? Like, they really keep themselves warm. If I was playing hurling, I'd wear shin guards, I'd wear helmets.
They don't want the JAA and the soccer to be compared, especially hurling. They don't.
Yeah, DJ Carey wore shin guards regularly, didn't he? But and two gloves.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, that was protecting himself.
I'd wear the elbow pads that you wear for skateboarding and the knee pads and the whole lot.
The hockey goalies there, padded out there full forward.
But that's it. But even substitutes coming on, like, I mean, think of what they were like.
Yeah.
I remember Mickey Lawler giving me a great bit of advice years ago. we were both on the subs bench and he was wearing runners, and he made a point. Now it probably doesn't apply now because there's a lot of blades and stuff like that. He wore runners because he said your feet get freezing on the bench because the coal goes up through your studs and onto your feet. You weren't on the bench too often, JJ, so you weren't either, Damien, and I like to think I wasn't, but I thought this was fantastic. Any subs out there listening to this, wear runners on the bench.
And just I know that many viewers watch soccer, but Angelotti brought on an Everton player the other day, a sub, right? And he brought him on, and he must be come on too much for him, because when he came on, he'd only one sock on him, so he had to go back into the dressing room to get a sock.
I don't know that doesn't make sense. Anthony Daly said you can't hurl into a wind like that. Credit to the guys for how well they did. But to me, there's no way the games should have been on this weekend. So, and you're kind of agreeing on this. Yeah. But then explain to me how Laois played better into the wind, Clare played better into the wind, Carlow on Saturday night played better into the wind, Dublin played better in the second half into the wind. Do you know what I mean? How does that make sense? Now, this is a fact, is that the wind died down yesterday in the game with Laois and Clare. Laois got screwed over by Mother Nature. I'm telling you, it just completely...
That's the Clare for you, right?
It disappeared. It disappeared in the second half. But I don't know, like a lot of teams did play well into it then, JJ.
Yeah, because you have to work it, like, you know what I mean? If you're playing into the wind, a lot of them teams would actually play that run game anyway. So you hit the ball 20 or 30 yards, you have to go again for the hand pass, because again the wind, you won't get the ball into the full forward line. Then it's an easy, when you fall back, when you have the wind behind your back, it's very easy just to hit it long and get it away from you as quickly as possible, because you know it's going to distance, and you might take a shot from 70 or 80 yards, which you shouldn't really take, but you know you're going to make the distance, but you're only hoping the ball will go over the bar there as well. So it's a bit more of a team mentality when you're playing against the wind. So right, we all have to work hard here because the elements are against us here as well, so we know we're going to be against us. That's what I said previously. You know, for one half you're going to be under pressure, the other half you mightn't be as a full back, for argument's sake. So the whole team has that mentality going out in the first half. We're getting the wind, we're getting the elements here now, so like dig deep and we'll work hard for each other, like, you know, that kind of way. So a lot of teams would buy into that really, but then when you have the wind behind your back, it's too easy to hit the ball long. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
And then it could go wide or break into the keeper's hands, come back out as quickly as possible there.
Yeah.
Well.
So there's a flip side of that then, obviously, like JJ saying, Damien, the one team raises their game against it because they have to work savagely hard. The other team thinks that the wind's going to help them, and it's not always easy to give good ball in with a really strong wind like that.
And then what happens is there's some awful wayward shooting, and then there's aimless balls, and then there's stupid shooting. So what you can get is, you can get a lad in the half-back line and the wind behind his back, and he'll shoot for long-range points. And often the game plan that the management has put in place to get the ball into the inside line or work the ball along the line, through the line, often goes out the window where lads are shooting from all angles. So sometimes with the wind isn't as rewarding as against the wind, and often the team will play better. But yeah, I agree with everything that JJ is saying there. But with the wind, you can often get players that can be extremely wasteful.
Yeah, with the wind, because they're going for pot shots. So that makes perfect sense. So it kind of works. It works, but it's not necessarily the team playing against the wind play better against the wind. The team with the wind isn't playing that well.
Yeah,
you know, you're expecting more out of them.
Or if you were playing a ball into the full forward line, like, you know, with the wind behind you, you're hitting it hard anyway, and the wind will take it on further. You know what I mean? So it's harder for one of the full forwards to actually get control of the ball really more, because if it breaks past them, it's going to go out wide. You know,
go out over the end line. Yeah.
So
it's the same in Gaelic football. It is. Yeah, there's a lot of balls go aimlessly out over the end line in Gaelic football. So we've discussed this. So this is what's going to happen is that the rescheduled games will go on the weekend. The quarterfinals were supposed to be on, and it's going to be pushed back. So instead of the final being on March 22nd, the final's on March 29th. No big deal. Who cares? This is fine. It's a double header, like I said, and Croke Park will have more people in there. The hurling snobs might even hang around for the football, or the football snobs, depends which one is first, or whoever teams make them. But there isn't much wriggle room at this time of the year, though, especially in the hurling. In football, you have 2 breaks. In hurling, you only have 1, and that comes after week 2. So in week 3, there's a break, and then you're going straight to final. So you have 8 games in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
At the time of the year where the worst
Yeah.
weather of
They're
the
going
whole
to be
year
nervous
is.
now from now on.
Every year is going to be like this,
yeah,
though.
Yeah, it's this time of the year. It's elements. We're in Ireland, like for argument's sake.
Yeah.
We know this is going to happen, but you'd have to give yourself a couple of more weeks of wiggle room to play around with there as well. But they will be nervous now from now on. That they will, because again they go back into April again. You go back into the clubs, and if the clubs aren't playing in April again, there'll be absolute war again, because they got away with it a couple of years ago. Kilkenny only played one club game. It was last year and 2 years ago, and last year they played 3 club games, and they're down for 3 club games again this year. But if all depending on how far it goes, and it goes knocked into April again, and there will be war again.
It's too tight.
It is. They're backing themselves into a corner again.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You have to give yourself 2 weeks to play around with. Like,
So the black card in hurling debate has reared its ugly head, I'm sure, according to you. The hurling people don't want this, right? But you have an example of Enda Rowland swinging Podge Collins around, who's true on goals, Damien, which it could easily have been a goal. It's not even a penalty, it's a free. Now, Enda Rowland took a great option there for his team. He gave away a free instead of a goal. Then you have a situation where Billy Ryan dispossesses Simon Donoghue brilliantly. Now, Simon Donoghue tried his best to trip him with the hurl, didn't. Billy Ryan goes in and scores a goal. If Simon Donoghue had clipped his ankle with that hurl and got him the way he wanted to get him, Billy Ryan doesn't score that goal and it's a point. So, like, there's 2 clear examples of situations in hurling where that punishment, the 2 fouls were the right thing to do, and the attackers would be punished. That's if Simon Donoghue obviously clipped Billy Ryan. What's your take on it? You see, it gets such bad press in Gaelic football, Damien, but hurling referees are not like Gaelic football referees. They don't dish out cards as easily. Maybe they're turning a bit more into them.
Yeah.
I think the bad press the black card got at the start in Gaelic football is turning everybody off it. Do you not think there should be a punishment for fouls like this?
Well, see, what'll happen here now is you're speaking to a forward, right? And I'll have my opinion on it, and JJ is a defender, and he'll have his opinion on it. So this is where the big debate. This is where the big debate comes. And I'll give you an example of something that happened to me in 2004. We played Kilkenny, so we did down in Turles, and I was corner forward marking Tommy Walsh. And within the first minute, a ball broke, and I won it, and I was straight in on goal, and Tommy basically took me down for the team, which I suppose within the law of the rules he was right to, and all I won was a free, where Tommy could have nearly been sent off for that challenge, right? But as you said, if the black card was there to protect the forward, there wouldn't be so many cynical fouling. And a part of me would say, look, don't change it. But I can understand what you're saying about the black card regarding some challenges. Like, 'cause sometimes when you're a forward column and you get the ball and you're 1-on-1 with your man, right? And if you have a fast player to go to take him on, it's too easy for the defender just to pull him down.
Yeah.
And it really is. So, do you know what I'd love? Just to kind of to give you an answer, I'd love it to be trialled for a league campaign, right? Just to see. But the argument is, I'm going to say, yeah, I would like to see black cards coming in, and JJ will say he would like to see black cards coming in, especially for situations like that. But there is a lot of cynical fouling, and it is coming into play. So it is in a lot of cases, and that was a brilliant example there with the Kilkenny goal. So it was yesterday that if he did clip his legs, all he would have won was a free and maybe a yellow card, and there'd be no goal. So that's my opinion on it.
That's the thing, because Brian Cody is vehemently against it. He says, I certainly don't know where it's coming from. It's something that's brought into football, so it has to be brought into hurling then, it seems. I've absolutely no understanding why there's a black card even being talked about. The rules are the rules. You're fouled, you get a free, end of story. Hasn't changed. It's hilarious, why bring it in? But like, you're fouled, you get a free. Like, what would Brian have said if Billy Ryan's goal hadn't have got the goal because he was fouled? Is he happy with that free in that situation? Maybe the situation is this has to be in an attacking situation, right? The idea that you'd be dishing out black cards in hurling for a foul at the other end of the field, that's what's scaring people. But a black card and a sin bin for stopping a goal-scoring opportunity. Would that get hurling people on board?
I just think that is too big of a jump to do straight away, go to that black card. Just say for Enda Rowland's one, why not just give a penalty? Fair enough, he was outside that box, but if he went down in there, he would have scored a goal. Give him a penalty, that's 1-on-1 then, rather than bringing in the black card. So if you were running through, if Billy Ryan was running through, and man clipped him inside the 21, he's ready to take a shot. give him a penalty rather than a free.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not a 21-yard free, an actual penalty.
Right.
So he still has that goal scoring opportunity. There's still the player. Dunn took what he had for the team, but it's not black carded either, so he's still on the field. I just think it's a big jump to go to this black card straight away. Why not look at something else rather than just going straight to it?
Yeah.
Fair enough, it's a cynical play coming in, and I'd like to see probably over last year's championship how many times a black card would have been.
Colm, I have a question here now for JJ. So is he speaking about cynical fouling from a defender point of view or from a forward point of view? Because there's no cynical fouling coming from forward.
No, from a defender. If a forward's going through on goal and he has a clear goal scoring opportunity, defender fouls him. If it's outside the 14 but it's inside the 21, give him a penalty.
Yeah.
Get 1-on-1 penalty then. He still has that goal scoring opportunity.
I understand what you're saying, JJ,
and
but
no
the whole
card,
argument is that there's no forwards doing cynical fouling. It's only defenders.
Well,
What's your point, Damien? What do you mean by that?
My point is, like, if there is cynical fouling that is coming into place, and I can't understand the whole black card thing, where it's only for defenders. So maybe you'd see a lot more goals being scored, JJ, if there was black cards brought in, as opposed to leaving it as it is, because the easy option is just to take your man down, you take a yellow card.
but how's a forward get a black card then? Like, I mean, it's very if you're stopping a defender coming out and you pull him down, it's very extreme for a forward to be black carded like that.
Yeah, but forwards.
How is it cynical? Cynical tackle should be.
Forwards don't do it as much as defenders.
I know, well, they don't do it as much as defenders, but the point is, like, I mean, if you're a point up with a few minutes, you're ticking in injury time, forwards will foul their man tactically to stop the play,
So
you know.
I'd argue they do that anyway, even if black card is there.
They would do it at that
I mean?
stage, probably, anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I do think the PR of the black card being a bit of a disaster in Gaelic football, and now that it's a sin bin, it's getting a lot less bad press because you're off and then you're back on again, and you know it adds an extra dimension to the game, as in how much can the team make the most of the extra man. You know,
we had this in hurling there. What was it, 10 years ago in the league as well? You had a yellow card and you were gone off, and someone else came on and said you like
you've tried it already. So that's a black card then, right?
Yeah, that was probably went on for the league, and that was stopped after that. You know, that kind of way. So
right.
I don't know what the difference is between that and this one now. Like,
that's
I know
pretty
you're
much
off for 10 minutes, but it's that was just a substitution, and you're someone came on and said and the player was gone for the game.
Yeah.
Like.
The one thing I don't like, Damien, is the idea that hurling's fine, leave it alone. Hurling is fine, there's absolutely no doubt about that, but this is one little thing that could make it better. The attitude that hurling's fine, leave it alone. I don't know, like, I mean, I think those cynical fouls, if there was a punishment for them, you might see less of them. That's
the point I was trying to make, Colm there a second ago. I agree with you. You know, and why not try things in the league to see how it works? It's like, why not try give a sideline ball 2 points as opposed to 1 because it's such an exceptional score?
Yeah.
You know, just little things. But I wouldn't mind change and just see how does it work? How does it not work? You know, so I'd be all for trying stuff. You know, everything, and see does it work or does it not work?
Yeah, well, listen, there's an awful lot of hurling people vehemently against it, so we'll see how that works. Cody just doesn't want to entertain it for whatever reason.
Davy's the same.
Davy doesn't.
A lot of the managers don't want it in, like,
yeah.
You know, kind of way. So I don't know. Do they ask the managers questions about this now, or it's just the delegates are doing it? Like, you know,
yeah, no. Well, I see Brian Cody's point, but like, I mean, existing managers are fighting their own battles. Like, I
10
mean,
minutes is a lot in hurling, though, Willie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you're down to 14 men for 10 minutes. It could be 2 or 3 goals gone past you.
Well,
it's a very, very, very harsh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's an extreme. I think it's just...
Your one then might work then, because a lot of people want that in Gaelic football as well. Just give a penalty for it, you know, and that's a bigger... it's actually a bigger punishment on the scoreboard than, you know, potentially. At
least you're getting your goal scoring opportunity.
That you're lost
you're going
for
to
the
score.
cynical foul.
But then if you let the forward in, there's no guarantee he was going to score the goal anyway.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, something like that now would be more of a. I'd rather push for that rather than the black card. To be honest with you, you know, that kind of way. So,
okay. Patrick Horgan, we'll move on from that, lads, because we could talk about it all day. Patrick Horgan scored 2 penalties, so there was no numbness in his hands. How was he doing this, lads? And he rocketed him into the net. He got a first penalty, And I just can't understand what the penalty was for.
Yeah, it was soft.
It was as soft as you'll ever see.
Very, very soft now, yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, but the way he's able to finish them then.
The strike he has on the ball is absolutely phenomenal. Like, you expect him to score every time he goes. And it was just, when I was seeing the second penalty, I was wondering, well, is he going to go the same corner again? But he just put it in the other corner. He's just a phenomenal free taker and phenomenal penalty taker.
Phenomenal striker with the numb hands.
Just doesn't miss, never ever. You never see Patrick Horgan miss hitting the ball. Never ever see him, even right or left, whatever it does. It doesn't make a difference to him. He's a class what he does.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. Were you confused by that red or that penalty, Damien? It was Tommy Doyle was fouling him. I don't think even anyone from Cork even appealed it.
I would agree. I'd say Patrick Horgan was surprised himself. But Patrick Horgan is one of the best strikers of the ball in the game at the moment, Colm. And I guarantee you, if you asked him, he'd start telling you about the amount of time he perfects striking the ball, both left and right, and I guarantee you he lives in the ball walls and the alleys. You don't strike balls like that by just pure coincidence. I guarantee he spends an awful amount of his time perfecting his game on what we call his striking.
Yeah,
his striking is impeccable. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, it is, and he definitely does. He's an obsessive about practicing frees and all. There was 2 fluky goals in this that you would kind of associate with an underage club game, and this is senior intercounty level. But Aaron McHugh, the Westmeath goalkeeper, let one in. Yeah. Now this is the winds and the conditions,
is that his hands were probably cold?
Is it the cold hand? Is it the cold hand? Yeah.
To be fair, no, his hand was probably freezing. Just to give him a small bit of credit, I feel sorry for him. But he for an intercounty goalie, it shouldn't be happening. But in the conditions, you can understand his hand was probably absolutely freezing.
Yeah, no, that was it. It looked like that. It kind of brought me back to thinking about underage football, and I'm sure it's the same in hurling, where you kind of have a goalie that's a failed outfield player, and any high ball goes in, you're kind of praying.
You're turning around
that this lad's going straight in between his hands. But Westmeath will be kicking themselves, Damien. They had it back to 3 points. To a goal there was 11 minutes left, and they had a strong wind. I see Shane O'Brien complaining a little bit like me with the Laois game. He says we're naturally very disappointed. There was a huge breeze in the first half and it died off in the second half. Mother Nature. When will it give the weaker bloody counties a chance?
And Westmeath got some unbelievable scores there yesterday, so in terrible conditions and long range scores as well, so where there was wind and rain and the whole lot. And they got stuck into Cork, which was great to see as well. And Cork got a man sent off with Cahalan, which was a bit reckless, being honest, and put them under pressure. But Cork pushed on. But Westmeath needs to take a lot of credit. I thought they played very well in the conditions, and they gave Cork lots of it.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. Kieran Kingston said skill goes out the window and it's just a battle. And I suppose that's the way it is, JJ. So if ever the Laois and the Westmeaths and the Carlows had a chance to kind of upset the odds, it was this weekend, right?
Yeah, but it was just, it does go down to the battle, because look, wet ball, you could go squirt anywhere, and you see the amount of schmozzes in the game, like even Kilkenny Wexford yesterday now as well. There was loads of it, and
a load of rucks.
There's around 10 people in there as well, kicking the ball out and trying to win it, and then trying to hit it in space as much as possible. But no, it is down to kind of heart and desire and who wants to get the ball more than your opponent. That's what it's all about at the moment.
Yeah. And I noticed, Damien, an awful lot of players are going down using the 2 hands to rise it, because obviously with the cold hands again and the conditions, you have to make sure that's coming up into your hand.
Yeah, that's like something you tell your juveniles when you're, especially in wet conditions, go down with 2 hands, because if you go down with 1 hand, there's a huge possibility that you won't get it. And it was all to do with the conditions. Colin, was very difficult. The players deserve a lot of credit going out there, and it's gas. You're on about the conditions. If you were doing a session, on your own, and just say if it was absolutely lashing rain, you wouldn't go out in it. If you're doing your own one-to-one private session, then the lads had to go out in them conditions. It was very unfair. It's very unfair on the players, people that had to travel to the matches. Maybe some players are getting their first chance to try nail down a place or try make a mark, whatever, but conditions were terrible, and fair play to the players for giving such accounts themselves, but conditions were shocking, and you're dead right, everyone going down with 2 hands, and you don't see much of that as well in inter-county hurling. Most of us go down with 1 hand to get it up quicker.
Yeah. No, exactly. They definitely do. So bad news for you, JJ, is that it's 6 unbeaten now for Davy Fitz over Kilkenny, which is a sensational record for Wexford to have over Kilkenny. Anthony Daly said last night that some players like Paddy Deegan and Hugh Lawler and these lads would never have beaten Wexford. Yeah. You wouldn't be mentioning a Kilkenny dressing room, surely to God, would it? A stat like that?
No,
lads,
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't mention too many dressing rooms. You couldn't really kind of admit to something like that, that kind of way. So,
but that's out there. Daly has said that now. Daly has said that now. Yeah. So how will Kilkenny players be thinking about this?
We would be thinking of even before they go in on Sunday. Like, you know what I mean? I haven't won, especially down the Wexford Park. So the hard place to go and hard place to win. and you're kind of setting down a marker for the year. But yeah, again, it's playing on Kilkenny lads' minds now that the next time they do play him, they're going to have to get him over, because that's six in a row there, is it? It's
6 in a row, yeah.
It's phenomenal.
It definitely is. And there was some great hits in this, Damien, yesterday. Matthew O'Hanlon had a great hit, and Paddy Foley had a sensational hit on DJ's son in the second half. He had to go off after that. Like, Wexford and Kilkenny, the one thing about this game is the conditions weren't as bad. It was a really strong wind, but it was blown into one goal, so it was one of these game of two halves kind of things. But I don't think it had the same horrible conditions we saw in Ennis.
No, definitely not. And Kilkenny had the wind in the second half, and they went a pint up, and I thought Kilkenny were going to push on, and I'd say Brian Cody will be a little bit disappointed that they didn't push on and win it. But Davy pulled out all the big guns, Keith, and he brought on Lee Chin and the O'Connor and all these lads to really probably push on and get the win. So he did. But just on the thing, it is a psychological thing. I think that the Wexford players won't be afraid playing Kilkenny, and it is a psychological thing, even going down in the championship. Like, I'd be honest, when we were hurling with Galway, like, we never feared playing Cork, and I guarantee if you ask JJ, he'd say straight out that they never feared playing Galway, because they had won overs. Simple as that. They were able to beat us, and they didn't see much of a threat. But I thought there was some great scores, and again, as you said, there was some big hits. That was a big hit by Matthew O'Hanlon yesterday near the end of the game, so it was really putting down a marker as well. But Davy has something over Kilkenny. Not that it'll worry Brian Cody. Maybe Brian Cody will use it as a motivation, but we have to remember with Kilkenny, they have a lot of players to come back into the squad, with the Ballyhale boys and the Walshes and a few more of them coming in. So I think Kilkenny actually are in a good place this year. I think they're finding players, and some lads are stepping up to the mark.
I know, they definitely are, and they seem to have options all over the field now, JJ. But it's just like, even to talk about the impact that Davies had, like, Wexford were just cannon fodder for Kilkenny for an awful lot of years. Like, for him to come in, turn things around, and really put it up to Kilkenny physically. It's not like they're standing down to them, they're turning the games into battles. Yeah. And not many teams beat Kilkenny in battles, and it's just Davies' personality, is it?
Yeah, it's Davies' personality, and suppose you look back at the underage and minor under 21 or last year's, probably Wexford would have got the better of Kilkenny now over the majority of the last few years, which is probably coming through. The players are coming through, but you can't underestimate the Davy Fitz factor now in this. Whatever team he goes to, he instills a confidence there as well, and they have a game plan. They're doing it for the last 4 years. They know exactly what each player has to do. You see lads coming in, making their debut. You see Joe O'Connor there yesterday, corner back. He was flying around the field. Yeah. He knew exactly what to do with the ball. Got the ball, man in the best position, go on again for the support runner again. Like, so these guys know exactly what the role is, and that's down to Davy Fitz. He drills these into him, said, right, we're playing this way. Kevin Foley's a sweeper, he's always a spare man, but we're working that ball up the field, and if you see an opportunity as a back to go up the field and support play, you just go. You see the lads, you see them from the outside when you're watching the telly there as well. You see the wing back, the ball's at the right hand side of the field, left half back is just gone into space for the crossfield ball there as well, and that's where they get all their scores from too. But they know they can do that. They know that your man is going to hit the ball over into that space, and they know that's why they're making them runs as well, because you can make 3 or 4 of them runs. If the ball's not coming over, you're not going to do that again. So each they know their game plan down to the last, and it's down to Davy Fitz and kind of professional, I'd say. Professionalism he's after bringing to Wexford now is a huge thing, and every single player is buying into it too, so.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. We're going to talk about this game a little bit more in part 2. So there's only 2 other talking points out of it. Is Jack O'Connor's point in the second half. That looked, well, it was hard to tell by the camera angles, but the telltale sign is that the crowd didn't cheer it. Yeah. He drove it so high, the poor umpires had no idea. Is that a good trick for hurlers, just to get it up as high as you can?
As possible, yeah. No, because the umpire just went for the flag straight away. He didn't, and then he was hesitating. He didn't know.
But the crowd did not cheer, and they had the best view in the house of it.
In fairness, Darren Brennan was very adamant that was wide, and you see when the other cornerbacks come over from the far side telling the umpire it's gone wide, you know it's definitely gone wide.
The umpires had a debate as well.
They did in the end, yeah. But is that a good trick for confusing umpires, especially from an angle, Damien? Because it's a tough job.
Definitely. I would agree with you there. If it's from an angle, like, hit the ball as high as you can, because there could be an umpire there. He might have the greatest eyesight and arm. And the secret is, when you hit it from an angle and you put it up high, make sure you put your hand up in the air, as in, like, you're letting the umpire know that was definitely a point. like it was like in a training session when you're telling whoever's refereeing the match out in the middle that was a point, and he's keeping the scores.
But that's the thing. But coming if it's up over the post. Right, straight on goals, you can say, right, okay, but coming in from an angle, if that's over the post, I do have sympathy on umpires in a situation.
He was inside the 21 as well, so the ball was actually gone over the bar or gone wide even before he looked up. So, kind of way. So just interpretation, that's all it comes down to after that. Yeah, so
would underage coaches not say, when you're coming in at an angle, get it up over the over the post, no?
Well, maybe that's... underage, you might be able to poke at that height.
No, true. One other one for you, Damien, before we leave this. Alan Murphy fouls the ball on every single free, to the point where I'm not a hurling person, but I can clearly see that ball's just being held onto the hurl before he throws it up. Or before he throws it up to strike it. Is that fair enough?
It's technically a free. Yeah.
And how is he getting away with it?
I don't know. It's technically a free. If you want me to answer the question by the rule book, it's technically a free. And who the call used to do as well, Patrick Horgan used to do it one time a little bit, right? And DJ used to do it a small bit as well, right? But you're asking a question, technically it's a free. Yeah, you're meant to, once you rise the ball, you're meant to release the ball on the rise and hit it. It's meant to be a free-flowing motion. JJ will probably agree with me on this. So you're asking the question, so technically it's a free. Yeah, he's holding the ball on the hurl for that second. It's going to be a massive debate again, what you're saying. But yeah, technically it's a free.
Yeah, and that I'd know just from being a casual supporter to know that resting it on for that second makes it a lot easier then, JJ.
Oh, it does, yeah. It makes it a lot easier because you're steadying yourself as well. You're not throwing up the ball and then your weight is not there. When you throw it up like him and then your weight is perfect before you release the ball and then you go hit the ball in as well. Like, you know what I mean? Your action is a lot more clear by doing it that way. Yeah. And obviously you're not supposed to do it that way too, you know. The only thing is
just a blind eye is turned to this in hurling.
Well, I think if you leave the hurl, you're not allowed to touch it again. So I don't know when you leave it, you know, that kind of way. That's the only bit of grey area.
It's meant to flick up rather than hold it up.
If you leave the hurl, you're not allowed to touch it again until you hit it.
Once you ride the ball, it's meant to be released the minute you ride the ball, and it's meant to float out in front of you, not to be held on the hurley afterwards. That is the rule.
Yeah. So but it's like you're taking 4 steps, you take 6, you get away with it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
but in a club match in Kilkenny now, and you're playing against his club and he's at that, would you not be reminding the referee he's holding that in the hurl, ref?
I'm going to send him on the podcast now before we play him.
Would that not be something that you might bring to the ref's attention? Here, he's fouling the ball there.
Yeah.
Do you know? Or is you too honourable a game in hurling to
No, you do what you have to do, Willie. Simple as that.
I think one of the best moments of the weekend was Chris Crummy. He tried to play Gaelic football. He tried to actually block a ball down with Gaelic football. He lost his hurl. He chased his man down, tried to block it down Gaelic football style. He got enough pressure on it. He didn't block it down. He got enough pressure on it that the ball wasn't cleared that well. The ball came back in. It went to somebody else who won it. It was corner forward, it was maybe Hayes at full forward, and who's running past him off the shoulder? Chris Crummy, still with no hurl. He gets the ball bearing down on goals, and I think he just tried to rugby it over the line there.
He thought he was going to get a try now at the end of the But even seeing when the Carol lads were going in at him, he just started laughing and said, look, what else could I do? You know, the kind of way he nearly tried to sidestep a couple of defenders to get the ball over the line. But yeah, fair play to him. He stayed going. He seen an opportunity there, he stayed going. But they tried to block down without a hurl before, right? But you're doing it on instinct really more than that. And you're kind of after it saying, thank God I didn't block that down.
You've done it. You've done it.
But it's just stupid. Like you're blocking your hurl with trying to block with your hands with a hurl. Like, you know what I mean? There's only one winner there. It's not your hands either, to be fair. You know? So you just do it, but you're hoping you don't block him down. You're not going away, and after that, you're saying, Jesus, I got away with that now. What was they thinking?
What were you thinking? But it's a rush of blood to the head, Damien. Because any logical thinking person would not be going to try and block the ball down without a hurl.
Yeah, it is true. But Matty Kinney and the lads, you know, they would be looking for lads with commitment and lads to put their bodies on the line. So in fairness, even though he knew that he wasn't going to block him down, he was putting your man under pressure so that he wouldn't get a good clearance.
Yeah.
So that's the whole logic behind it. But what was funny about it was when he got the return ball, he went in to try score a goal, and like there was a free out, the way the camera zoomed in and found him laughing and smiling, and the few of them laughing and smiling with him. It was good now, so it was entertaining. But that's what it is. Lads looking for commitment, throwing your hands out there to see if you block it. That's what I put him under pressure even without a hurl. That's what it's all about.
That's it. So it's just a message to your manager, really. Yeah. It's look how
I'm still trying.
I'm still trying even. Quick other one before we finish up and go into part 2. Willie Dunphy got a ball in the eye. Now, it's obviously in the first half, it came down through his guard and hit him in the eye, and the game had to be stopped. Just wondering if that ever happened to you, and I presume it would be it's clearly an incredibly sore thing, but I presume the conditions played a part in that.
You would, but you misjudge it, or if the balls come up, someone gets a slight little nudge on it and you're trying to catch it and you get it in the head, alright, it would.
Right.
It would happen more than you would actually think now.
Would it,
It would, it would. Very, very common.
And that's an injury that has to stop the play, because that's not something you can
something like that,
flick
but
off.
everyone stops, and even club game or anything like that, like the whole thing is, it's his eye, you know what I mean? That's kind of very, very serious. You want to make sure he's okay before actually the game kicks off. The referee would just blow the whistle, everyone will stop straight away, and because you'd be obviously concerned, like, because it could very easily happen to yourself. So even you'd hear people in the club now over the last probably 15-20 years after losing a small bit of sight in their eye after getting the ball in it. That's before the guards came in now and all that. There's a reason why it, but something like that, when something happens to your eye now, you're kind of too serious now.
And there's enough space in the guard then, Damien, because players obviously don't want their vision impaired, so there's enough space for the ball to land in between the guard and the top of the guard.
Yeah, if it was hit hard enough, it actually could get caught in the guard. But so it is, and like a hurley can still get through the guard, even clip a lad's nose. All that. Look at everything within reason, Colin. But when you're playing hurling, you know that these risks are there. It's you might as well say it straight out like that. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with his eye and he'll be okay. But that's these risks are there that you're going to get a belt into the face with a hurley, because the hurl or the sliotar or whatever. But the guard is designed where it's not going to impede your eyesight during the game, where there's a bar in your way when the ball is coming to you, that you're able to control it and see it with your vision. But there's always a possibility that you're going to get a belt into the face with a hurler or a ball in the game of hurling.
Yeah. The guard will take the impact a small bit, but you're still going to get hit in the eye, like, no matter what you do.
It's a dangerous game, let's be honest.
You'll even see some lads guard, some of them you'll see some bars bent on them, and that's where they've got belts in them already, but as JJ said, it's to take impact, to take the big belt out of it like this, but there's always a possibility of getting the belt into the face.
Yeah. Okay, great stuff, lads. We'll come back and we'll have a bit more of a chat about Wexford and Kilkenny. So Wexford 116, Kilkenny 114, and like I watched it, obviously everybody didn't watch this live except for the people who went to Wexford Park, so I knew the score. And if you hadn't known the score, JJ, after 52 minutes, Kilkenny had gone a point ahead with a gale force wind. How did they not win the game from there?
Yeah, I'd say there had been a savage opportunity there, but even in the first half, they had a good couple of points start and then didn't score for a long time, but they were making goal opportunities. Walter had a goal opportunity and John Donnelly had a goal opportunity in the first half. Now they got points out of it now, and Billy Ryan, in fairness to Ligo McGovern, came back and flicked a great ball away from Billy Ryan, but they were trying to make goal opportunities too, so they won't be overly disappointed now coming out there because of the players that they didn't have out in the field, and if you're looking at Wexford brought on Rory O'Connor, Lee Chin, 45 minutes, Dimmer O'Keefe come on 50 minutes, so they had to unload the bench now to get the best out of them too, know. So I'd say they'll be happy enough with
that's true.
Happy enough with Paddy Deegan, maybe centre back. I think you heard well, and Killian Buckley got a game under his belt. Richie Hogan got another 50 minutes under his belt there. They got 3 points from play. So I'd say overall they won't be too bad, because it put the Wexford team to the pin or collar, but again you would be disappointed when you're point up with the wind. You think you kick on and win that, but again, unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Like, I'd
say they'd be saying in the dressing room after that match, like, that they need to keep Wexford quiet rather than keep giving them, confidence of 6 in a row. Like, I'd say that's what they're more disappointed of. Obviously, Cody's a big competitor as well, Damien. I'd say the manner of that loss might sting Kilkenny a little bit in that, the last thing they want to be doing is giving these Wexford lads kind of the confidence that they can beat Kilkenny even with a point down against the gale force wind.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't like being beaten. Cody wouldn't like it, right? But Davy Fitz definitely wanted to win that game yesterday, and it proves it with the subs they brought on. I'm just seeing here, like, he brought on O'Connor on the 45th minute, and he also brought on Lee Chin as well in the 45th minute, and then he brought on O'Keefe on the 49th, and then he brought on Matthew O'Halloran. Like, they were 4 seasoned campaigners, but we cannot forget that Kilkenny have a lot of players to come back into the team as well, and I think Cody is looking for players more than, we'll say, even results. Yes, he would have loved to have won the game, and he'd be disappointed in the manner that they lost it, especially them going ahead with the wind. But Wexford had to empty their bench and bring on 4 seasoned campaigners to see it out. But I think Cody will be happy with the performance. I agree with JJ there. he has lads coming back into the squad that's going to strengthen his whole team. And I'd say Cody will judge himself playing Wexford with his full strength team as opposed to with a squad like that. And the answer is, Colin, I don't think it'll bother Brian Cody one bit. This chat about being beaten 6 times by Wexford. He'll judge himself this year when he plays them with his real championship team, and I think he's a good championship team coming.
Yeah, no, he definitely has. He seems to have loads of options, like I was saying, JJ, in part one. Connor Brown was cornerback.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd imagine that Murphy and Holden have those 2 positions tied up, would they?
I think Kieran Wallace is after. He played the last few games.
I don't recognise that name.
Yeah, he plays for Castlecomer or Aaron's Own, same as Conor Delaney now. And he was cornerback last few games. Very, very impressive. Very, very tight and kind of tigerish cornerback. Good player now as well. So him, Conor Delaney are going to put the 6 backs under pressure. And where do you put Pádraig Welsh? I think Paddy Deegan will probably say 6 this year.
He will. He's 6 tied down by the looks of it.
Put out wing back, maybe, or even put Pádraig Welsh out midfield, you know, that kind of way, and having an attacking option in midfield, because Kilkenny Buckland played well yesterday, and it's good and important to give him game time early in the season as well, because he kind of hard to get the fitness there the last couple of years, and he looks to be coming back good there as well. But where I'd be encouraged is from your midfield on, that's where you're missing the guys, and that's where you're Conor Fogarty, TJ Reeds, Colin Fennelly.
Go on,
Colin. I'll tell you one aspect that Dave or that Brian Cody wouldn't have been happy with yesterday, right? And it was just one piece of play. He wouldn't have been happy with Conor McDonald catching the ball over Hugh Lawler's head for the goal. Like, Hugh Lawler is his natural full back, and JJ will speak about that. Even just that one piece of play that Conor McDonald catching the ball over his head and scoring a goal. That's one piece of play that he wouldn't be happy with on yesterday's game.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And that was from a sideline ball, JJ. And
high ball in there.
But I'm always of the opinion Conor McDonald's brilliant in the air.
He is, yeah.
And Kilkenny's style doesn't suit him.
Yeah.
Why don't they give him more of those balls on the edge of the square?
Yeah, but I suppose Hugh now is going to have to learn from that now himself. You can't let Conor McDonald in behind you. He's so good in the air. He just played a hurl, played a hand, and then catch it. And in fairness, a great finish as well.
Over his head
there as well. So he's very. Well, he's a natural scorer, but he just loves scoring goals as well. A goal for Wexford is a huge score, because they'll always pride themselves on having their extra man back there and stopping the opposition scoring goals. So a goal for them, it's huge. So if you stop Wexford scoring goals, you'd have a good chance of beating them after that, you know.
Was there an element, JJ, of kind of same old problems for Kilkenny, in that a lot of puck-outs in the second half were going along and Wexford had swarmed that area and they seemed to be coming out with them all, and it was like, geez, you may do something different, because we've seen Kilkenny kind of fall into that trap before.
The first half, then Darren Brennan's puckers were going on his own 45, so Killian Buckley and Conor Delaney were under a lot of his puckers because they were against the wind, and it's very hard to go short for them all the time in the second half there as well. So maybe they wanted to use the element and go along, but again, we're talking about teams falling into that, of course, of having the wind with you as well. Like, you know, you just want to get it down there as quickly as possible and get in around the breaks. But then, look, it didn't work out for them, unfortunately, but they're going to have to come up with something. Like, there's no point in doing it now in the league. When championship comes, they're going to have to come up with something, because they know Kevin Foley's going to sweep there as well, so they're going to have to kind of work around that. Now, maybe on a summer's day or something like that, they can go ping it to the midfield and that kind of stuff as well. And Murphy wasn't there yesterday, maybe the first side keeper, and Darren just wanted to go along and keep it safe in the second half. Whereas if Murphy's there, he'd have that kind of money in the bank there that he can try a short one as well, like, you know, that kind of way. So maybe something like that. But Cody would be a fan of getting the ball on the field as quickly as possible and win your own ball, you know.
But that's the thing, and he is. But Damien, like, if you get a couple of long range points with a gale force wind from around your own 45, would that not make Wexford have to push out a little bit? You know what I mean? And because Wexford were just swarming that kind of dangerous area on their own 45, and they seem to be comfortable.
But that's exactly it. And like yesterday, I think yesterday as well, Colin, was a very important game for Wexford, because Wexford were after getting beaten by Clare down in Wexford Park, and Davy Fitz didn't want to lose another game. He didn't want to lose to Kilkenny, but he didn't want to lose another game down in Wexford Park, because it's like if you lost 2 back-to-back games down in Wexford Park, next thing all of a sudden Wexford aren't going well. You know, they're all the negative coming from the press or whatever. So I think Wexford definitely wanted to win the game more than Kilkenny. It proves it with the subs that he brought on, but they wouldn't have been happy with the way they played against Clare. So he'd been very happy with the way they finished Wexford yesterday. But Kilkenny are just finding a couple of players. I don't know if there are going to be major changes to their team last year. If the Ballyhale boys come in, but Cody be disappointed that they didn't push on when they were points up.
Yeah, I don't see too many changes from Wexford's or from Kilkenny's championship team last year either. They finished the first half very strongly, JJ, didn't they? I mean, Walter was running at them, and I thought he played very well in that period to get them back into it.
He done well, and had a couple of goal opportunities. And Kevin Foley he blocked Mikey Carey was going through, and he had a brilliant block on him, So if you look back in the first half, there was
an element of luck to that, though. That was just put the hurl up.
He was in the right place, the right time, though.
I thought it came off his helmet first. It came off it so fast, but it hit his hurl.
Hit the hurl and come up, but then he made himself big to get the target there as well. But they had 3 or 4 goal scoring opportunities they didn't take, and got one of them. They could have been a different game completely. But after the second half, when they got the goal, I thought they'd go on and kick on after that. But huge last 10 minutes for Wexford. You have to give them a lot of credit now. They've seen it out, and they've done it the hard way. They wasn't if got last minute goal last minute and to win it. They got a couple of points near the end, and they worked very, very well too. That kind of way. So you have to say they were very in control the last 10 minutes, and they didn't panic, and they stuck to there. Again, you go back to their work rate, and they know exactly what they're going to do with the ball, and they stick to that till the last minute.
That's the thing. They were very impressive for the last 5 minutes, even in the injury time, I thought. And Damien, they used the ball very well, and it didn't look like Kilkenny were going to get back into them. They won the last part of the game, the last quarter of the game. They won 5-2 against the wind. And Davy said afterwards, he said the way we used the ball and our composure in the last 7 or 8 minutes was very good, I thought. And you're right, it was obviously the players they brought on. Rory O'Connor gave a great ball down to D. O'Keefe for a late point. How does D.
always drifts in there?
How does he do that? How does an all-star consistently drift into place and not be marked? How is it possible?
He's at the right place at the right time all the time.
Unmarked.
D. O'Keefe then gave a great ball down the line, so he did with using complete composure, holding up the ball in a real slow run. If you remember, but he's such energy levels. But obviously at the time that he was brought on, Colm, that he had more energy in his legs, and he was probably able to get away from some of the Kilkenny players and find himself into space. But geez, I'm sure the old Kilkenny team, the one that JJ won all the All-Irelands with, they wouldn't be happy as a defensive unit if you left a man all on his own of 30-40 yards where he can just control the ball, turn and get a score. I'd say that wouldn't be in the mantra or the script down in Kilkenny dress rooms. So, but also just to say as well, Colm, Kilkenny should have and maybe could have and maybe should have got 4 goals in the first half.
Yeah. So JJ says,
but I thought the 4 boys in particular for Wexford when they came on made an awful difference for the boys to push on and win the game for Wexford.
Yeah, no, that definitely is. Billy Ryan is a great man to tackle, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He's very fast. Now he made his own goal by a good tackle, but he did it on more than one occasion. He works hard and he's lightning fast.
But he gets the ball. I like with Billy Ryan. He gets the ball straight for the goal. That's what I think. Maybe it's a change under with DJ being involved now in the selector that they're going for a lot more goals this year. You got 3 in the first 2 games, 3 each in the first 2 games. They could have got even 3 more yesterday as well. You know what I mean? So that's what we were probably lacking last year and the year before was an actual goal scoring threat. And then the likes of TJ and Colin, then these lads come back in, and Colin now is just if they are going to go for goals, he's the best man to get the ball and going for so it's encouraging now from Kenny point of view that they are actually going back looking for the harder score, which would be the goal rather than an easy score, which would be a point.
Well, that's the thing, because the game was moving away. But didn't Galway win the All-Ireland and they didn't score a goal the whole season? Was that or did they get 1 goal? I think
scoring 30 points.
The whole idea was that because there was men back, let's use our spare man to get long range points, and that was the kind of analysis there. And like our team's now going right. Well, let's start going for goals and be brave enough to work it around them. Do you think that's maybe?
You have to back your own ability as well. Like as Damien will probably talk about this more than me, but in regard to when you're a forward, I'd say you always have a mentality you're going to beat your back and go for the goal as well. A goal for a forward is a huge thing. It's breaking your defender's heart. If having the lad you're marking have gone on and score a goal as well, it's a huge score for confidence for a forward as well.
Yeah, or else just have Tommy Walsh that won't allow that to happen, Damien, and pull you down.
Exactly, but Tipperary did it last year. Every opportunity Tip got to try score a goal last year, they scored goals and pushed on to win the All-Ireland. It was a big thing in their training session that if a goal is on or we can try work a goal, we'll try score a goal. And Shamie Cannon scored a goal in every game in Championship last year. But any chance Tip got last year to score goals, they went for it. They went for the juggler. And it's very important. There's too many inter-county players out there, Colm. They're getting the chances to maybe take on the ball, go for the juggler to score a goal, and they're taking handy points.
Yeah,
I'm saying it the whole time. If you watch it, some lads will carry the ball 15 and 20 yards longer and draw the fullback or the cornerback and hand pass the ball inside where maybe it's a one-on-one with the goalkeeper and score goals. So then Tipperary did it last year and it paid off for them scoring goals.
Yeah, that was always a quality of Kilkenny teams, especially that you were on, JJ, is smelling a goal.
Yeah.
TJ can do it still.
Yeah.
But seeing that a goal's on, even when a normal person watching wouldn't really see there's a goal on there.
Actually, the likes of Eddie Brennan, these guys here are just natural goal scorers who'd rather score a goal than score a point, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
And we were very good now. Even when we got one, we got two, maybe three in the space of 5-6 minutes to kill off a team. It's actually just going to come back to your black card again. Like, if something like that happens and before your man comes back on the field, or again the game could be over, you know, kind of way. Just,
right.
I think it's
in
just
hurling, it's a big punishment.
Steep, like.
Yeah. Okay, no, I definitely take that point. So that's it. So Wexford 6 in a row against Kilkenny. We'll have to see how Kilkenny respond back in the championship from that one. Right, we'll come back with performance of the weekend. Performance of the weekend, JJ, and you've mentioned this man already, Joe O'Connor. I didn't know much about him. He's only a young fella. I was asking the office this morning. He's usually a midfielder, and his club converted him last year to a full back, and he's playing cornerback now. Does that not seem like the perfect mix for a cornerback for Davy, the way he likes cornerbacks to be, to be comfortable on the ball and let him go forward? And now I'm keeping my eye out for Joe O'Connor nailing down a guaranteed starter position. He's only 22.
He's putting himself in the running for it as well. Like, what I liked about him was he was marking Watt for the majority of the game, but he didn't mind going forward whatsoever. Like, you know what I mean? If it was on, he backed himself to actually go up the field and try and get a point. He was unlucky I think it was the second half, he took a shot at the goal, but he was unlucky. But he seemed very, very comfortable on the ball. Didn't do anything spectacular, but got the ball, man in possession position, hand passed or flicked with the hurl, and Wexford always retained the possession when he had the ball. I said Davy would be delighted with the way he kind of showed up yesterday, attacking the ball all the time, even against the wind with Walter as well. You're kind of half afraid to go out in front with Walter because he can catch it over you, but he was attacking the ball on the ground there as well, so he was flying now. So he was very impressed with him. If he's
an ex-midfielder, Walter mightn't scare him as much as a regular corner. Now whether he'd enjoy marking John McGrath now might be that kind of way, so it might be interesting to see.
He's ticking all the boxes so far anyway.
He definitely is. Aaron Shanahan, Damien, was outstanding. He changed the game. Now obviously the wind did die down, but all the scores he got were nearly the same. Proper inside kind of marksman where he's running out, he throws the ball up and he's hitting it almost before he turns back to face the goals. Incredible skill.
He's a great target man, Colin. So he's and he has had awful injuries. So, and if a player could get him injury free this year, right, they'll have a great chance. He's another target man with John Conlon. And you have to remember, do you remember the great game between Galway and Clare in Croke Park, where maybe Clare should have pushed on and won it?
Yeah,
where
he got the goal.
Extra time. He was the one that jumped up and got that great catch and got the great goal. And then I felt sorry for him then, just as being what we call a hurling person, that the following day in Thurles, he was the one that tipped the ball and hit the post, if you remember, an open goal. But he scored 3 super points in the conditions again, Colin. Used his power out in front, manly stuff, caught the ball, and he's hitting on the turn, which is always a very difficult thing to do, and nailed 3 super points. So he did, and I thought he was unbelievable when he came on. Like, I think it was the first 3 balls straight over the bar. Like, as a manager, you couldn't ask for more. But he's a huge find, and they'll be hoping that they can keep him injury free, and if they can keep him injury free, he'd be pushing for a place on the Clare senior team this year and put Conlon under lots of pressure, even though Conlon's captain, we put him under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, maybe they could play together as twin target men or something like that. I thought Laois disappointed me a little bit with the gale force wind. They continued with the 2-man full forward line and left Golden as the spare man, and he was cleaning up ball. And my opinion on this is the same as football. If you're playing with a gale force wind, the wind is your extra man. You don't need an extra man then. Now I know Lennon's an excellent sweeper. He came on as a sub and he's excellent at it, and he uses the ball well, and a lot of the time sweepers are used as attacking men, but there's no point having attacking men back the field when you have 2 against 3 down there and you're hitting it down to them, and you've got a strong wind.
That's where you use the ball. Like,
it makes no sense though, does it?
If you're going long, there's no point in doing it because there's only come back up the field.
Put 3 men down there and let's
hit
just
it out to your wing forwards or hit 30 or 40 yard passes rather than going long against 2 against 3. I'd say it must be a thankless job for the 2 corner forwards in there trying to battle 3 top tier defenders as well. Like,
it was hardship, and Ross King didn't play well at all, Damien, but because he wasn't getting the ball up in his hurl, but he was being double marked every time he got it. Now he did miscontrol a good few balls that went into him.
But I couldn't agree more, Jay. With the wind, you should have your 3 lads inside. And if anything, even if the opposition put an extra man back, I'd nearly be saying throw your extra player down into the forward if the ball is going to be down there. But they definitely. You should, with the wind, you should have your 3 lads inside, and the game plan is you're coming from the inline out. You know, you're not staying the 21-yard line. You're going as deep as you can and try to get the lad from out the field to work the ball into low and hard or diagonal balls or whatever. But that would make absolutely zero sense to play 2 men inside with a gale force wind. 0 sense.
Yeah, I think it makes zero sense. And like, I mean, when you look at the JJ, like we were talking earlier about being full back on a team with that wind, you barely get the ball.
Yeah, you won't.
What's the point in the extra man, really?
Yeah.
Like, can your backs not defend with and use the wind as the spare man?
Yeah, you're kind of the bad sign. You're kind of, look, you go man to man now when we have the wind. You know what I mean?
Has to be. There has to be one way of
playing. Shouldn't be a safety net there when your wind should be your safety net for argument's sake, because the ball should, if it's coming in long, it's going to hold up in the air anyway. So it's going to give you that opportunity to go out and tackle it even more. But then if you think about, like, it's 2 against 3 full back line, 2 forwards against 3 full back line. But then the keeper is a sweeper as well, like, you know what I mean? So it's 2 against literally 4, and then they're just playing around you, and the 2 guys are just made each of really.
They are.
And then you're chasing shadows all you're doing, like, because the keeper will come out of goal as well as what they're doing now. Over the last 3 or 4 different games as well, their keeper always comes, and he's comfort on the ball there as well, so they'll start attacks there as well. So it's 2 against 4, not against 2 against 3.
No, and like, I mean, you're playing against the wind, Ross, King and Young Bergen, and they're living off scraps.
Yeah.
And at least in their head they might be thinking, well, in the second half now we'll get loads of ball. And they didn't. Did an extra man covering them in the second half?
It's so easy stop the forward getting the ball on the day like yesterday as well. Like, you know, it's just waiting,
flick,
walking into the ground, kick it backwards. You know there's someone there, just kick it back to them then, and then you're back out in the attack again. It's hard.
No, that must be a disaster, Damien, thinking that you'll have the wind in the second half. And then actually we'll mention the next fella who's on the list here, Richie Hogan. So he lives off scraps in the first half. He got a good point. You know, you're not getting much on the ball, but you accept that. Then in the second half, he scores 2 outstanding points off Liam Ryan, a bit like Shanahan's, where they're on the turn, and we've seen Richie doing that so often. And then he's taken off after 57 minutes, and the camera panned to Brian Cody on the sideline, and it caught Richie behind him. And it's always the same with Richie Hogan. He always has a face on him when he's taken off. But like, I know Brian might be trying to mind him, but he's just after scoring 2 brilliant points. Why is he taking him off with the win then?
Well, see, this is it. Maybe Brian explains this to him afterwards. Maybe JJ would explain about Brian's man management skills. But if he explains to him this, he's minding him, that's fine. But I say myself, the likes of Richie Hogan would prefer to be left on, where he's getting a bit of confidence back into his play and getting hurling into his body and be able to see out 70 minutes like this. But the whole thing comes back to the whole concept of when you're playing in the inside forward line, you have to have the greatest patience unknown. That's number 1. And number 2, when you're playing inside, you have every possibility of being shaken off before the game ever starts. If you're corner forward and you can see to like go through the games that were played, how many corner forwards were taken off last time. You know, you'd never get a corner forward and he mightn't have touched the ball, or he's living off scraps, and management go, right lads, you know, your man is living off scraps, and we throw him out midfield there for 15 minutes and just see how he gets on out there. It just doesn't happen. You know, it's interesting, but yeah, maybe Brian Cody is trying to mind him. He's living off scraps, but I'd say myself, Richie Hogan, maybe he's a bit like myself. I'd say he'd prefer to be playing matches and getting on the ball and getting confidence into his game, so he can push on in the summer when they really need him. Because they will need him. They will need him.
Yeah, there's one way of looking after him, JJ, and then there's the other side of it. Geez, wouldn't it be great to get him full of confidence when he's playing well? Do you know, there's a balance there that I'm not sure Brian got right. I wouldn't
be too sure that Brian told him why he took him off either after the game, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? He just took off. That's the decision made, that was it. But I'm hoping it was kind of mind him, because he was coming into the game as well, and with the elements, and he had a great battle with Liam Ryan is top notch full back there as well, and he had a good old battle with him too, you know. So no, I can disappoint to see him go off when he did, to be honest with you, but I'm still very, very happy to get him having 50-60 minutes under his belt there as well, and he played against Carroll as well, so you'd be hoping now he get more game time within the league itself. But yeah, I'm hoping it's just minding him, but I'm hoping it's not an injury or anything like that now. But no, I wouldn't say Richie was holding his breath now to find out how he was took off now.
Well, you just couldn't ask him, could you?
No, you wouldn't ask him.
What would he say?
He wouldn't tell you either, like, so it makes a difference, you know.
Would he tell you to go in and don't be annoying him, or would he say that's a selector decision?
Yeah, I'd say you may go ask the selector instead now, rather than buying him, I get an answer.
See, I'm intrigued by Cody. I'd always go and ask. Like, it would be on my mind. I'd be like, Brian, what happened here? I wouldn't be able to just wonder. Are you minding me or did I do something wrong?
Tell me.
Tell me. I can't sleep at night, right? Tony Kelly, Damien, is 8 points, 4 from play, 4 from frees. He's a level above everybody else in the field as usual, and midfield is absolutely suiting him because midfielders don't mark each other, and that's the tradition of midfielders. They hurl their own ball, and in Gaelic football it's the same thing. Poor Brian Fenton now is starting to get man-marked, God help him. But generally they don't get man-marked, and he's able to come and go as he pleases.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Colm, the Peter Duggan is gone. So at the moment, Tony's taking the frees, which will also bring confidence into his game, right? And he's playing midfield and he gets the lease of life there. But if you study the games, and I suppose I'm studying Clare a lot more because I'm based down here, but also I'm very friendly with Sean Tracy who's training them. So I've kind of a special interest in them. But if you watch what they're doing, when he takes a free, especially that's in the forward line, he goes straight to full forward.
Right, so he waits in there.
Right, and so he waits in there. So if you know a few times the ball was poked out and Nickton came back in, he was actually in around the full forward. So once he takes the free, he goes straight to full forward, and the Clare hurling team set up. The players set up in positions to get ready like this. And then what can happen is Tony then floats back out the field, and the full back might want to pick him up, and next he gets onto another loose ball and he throws it over the bar. And people still think he's playing midfield.
Right.
But he's actually floating from 14 to midfield, you know, and lads are rotating in and out, which will suit his piece of play. But at the moment, Tony Kelly's going really well, and it's brilliant to see because you want the good hurlers all going well. But I am very impressed with the Clare management at the moment. I think they're nicely tuned in and they're finding players. But that's what's happening with Tony. He's taking frees, and if they're anywhere in around the centre forward, full forward line region, he then sets up at full forward, and next thing the ball might come in, but he moves back out, and the full back might follow him, and he gets onto a ball and he throws over the bar. But Tony's flying at the moment. He's going really, really well.
Yeah, no, he is. I can imagine that causing a lot of confusion, JJ, because your full back, he's on you because his man, obviously, when he's taking the free, his man covers. Yeah. Your man will cover Tony's man, so he's gone out and you're like, oh well, he's covering him there. I'll wait, that's normal. And now Tony's in on you, and now Tony's gone back out, and you're wondering, in the changeover, these lads suddenly end up being free.
Yeah, it's very, very good man management as well, and getting the best out. You want your best players on the ball as much as possible, and this is what we're asking the last 3 or 4 years. How do you get the best out of Tony Kelly? And obviously they're trying everything at the moment just to get him on the ball and get him loose ball there as well. But 100%, if you're a full back seeing him coming in, then you see Tony going out the field, you'd be happy enough to let him off and someone else pick him up in another kind of way, because again, does the full back go and leave it wide open around the middle? If he does, Clare winning as well, because if like Aaron Shannon in there wins it against the corner back, he's turned a straight pathway into the goal as well. So even if Tony doesn't get the ball, he'll bring the full back out. It's ideal for them as well.
Yeah, I like those little things. It keeps you kind of thinking. I'll definitely keep my eye out for Tony Kelly taking frees from now on. There's another one, JJ. Rian McBride scored 4 points from play for Dublin, midfielder from St. Vincent's. He made a breakthrough under Pat Gilroy and missed a bit of last year. Started the league really well last year, then got sick and injured and college exams, and he didn't play in the championship, but he's back. He's one to keep your eye out for 4 points from play for him against Carlow. I didn't see that game, so Ron Hayes for me looks like a great target man. He's catching balls against Laois, and he caught a few against Carlow the other night as well. They're definitely ones to look out for. I think they play Wexford in Croke Park in the next game, so that'll be a good one. So performance of the weekend I'm going to give to Joe Connor, because he did very well, and I like converting players, JJ. I just like converting players, and it's definitely one for people to keep your eye out for. Joe Connor, he's a cousin of the other two O'Connors, Jack and Rory. So there you go, Joe Connor performance of the weekend. Right, that's all we've time for. We'll be back on Thursday, and we'll preview next weekend's matches. We'll talk to you then. Good luck.